Good afternoon again. It is now March the 1st. Time does march on, literally, punningly so. We ended last time at 2013, and I wasn't quite finished, so I'm going to finish that up. We had just renovated Handy Mart 10 in Strasburg with Dunkin donut and with outside graphics. We also did some work in Middletown, the Interstate Exxon, with a lot of renovations and lines and upgrades. We actually sold a location in 2013. That's not normal for us, but we sold Handy Mart 4, which is across from the post office in Winchester. It's a smaller store. It had some older tanks. It wasn't big enough to put in some of our franchise programs such as Dunkin or Subway. So we decided we would let that one go and take that money and redeploy it into a new store, which we did. And then we were always buying bulk oil trucks and delivery trucks and so forth. So that's in 2014. I'd like to kind of step back a bit. When we did our 10th anniversary, our 10th session, I talked about some old history things about Funkhauser. And now we're 20, I'm thinking about doing the same thing. So just bear with me a minute. Somebody was asking me the other day about this warehouse. We're tearing out my office. You used to see pictures and stuff behind me, but we're going to take my office and make a couple offices out of it. We continue to grow, and as I was sharing some stories about the warehouse building, I thought, well, I might as well share it with you all too. This warehouse was built back in 1954, and the warehouse, the part up where my office is, was added in 1989. But back in those days, there were at one time, only 3 employees here. When I came back, there were 6. But Texaco operated this as a salary operation, and the warehouse building included a lot of the office space. The back part of the lower office, back where Rebecca's office is, and Todd Shank, was all part of the old warehouse. It had big 2x4s with chicken wire fence around it that they kept all their old records in. And as we grew, we needed that space, so we cut some doors and moved it back into the warehouse and took that storage area someplace else. In the upstairs area where Becky and Carrie and Brian Oakland are, that was also part of the warehouse. That was an upstairs area, actually, where we had moved all the records to. And as we needed more things, we put in a set of staircases. And my dad and I moved up here. I was still working out of Woodstock, but I needed a place when I came down to do things. Then in 1989, we added on to the office where we are now and pretty much doubled our office space. And then we moved boardrooms a couple different times to make offices, so we've continued to grow. We've used this warehouse to do it with. A couple interesting things about the warehouse, though. We're beside a railroad track, and that wasn't by accident. The railroad track was because Texaco used to get all their products by rail. Our big 150,000 gallon fuel tank, we got fuel by rail, not by tractor trailer. Our gasoline tanks are vertical 20s. That all came in by rail. Our warehouse, if you go into it, on the back side has big open doors, and that was because the rail car would stop. We'd open up those doors, put in roller tracks, and we would unload motor oil into the warehouse. So this warehouse was totally supplied by rail up until really almost the late 1960s. So the place has changed a lot. At one time, again, Hugh was by himself. Then he had 1 driver. Then he had 2 drivers and a secretary. Mary Gore was our only secretary way back when. Dale Campbell actually took her place some 50-some years ago. And next month, in April, I will have been here and with Lambert and Sherman Woodstock, which is now our Woodstock operation, for 50 years, and we'll be celebrating 90 years as a company. So once again, a lot of history. I'll try to put all this together in a little more succinct presentation sometime, but all of those years, all 90 years, the reason we've been able to be here and grow is because of hardworking folks like you all. And we can't run all this stuff ourselves. We need people to represent our company and to smile and shake hands and welcome the customers. And as we continue to grow, we continue to hire a lot of new folks that continue to carry the torch into the future. So we appreciate all that each one of you all do for us. And we thank each one of you all, that we can get to be 90 years. So next month is the 90-year anniversary. You all are all part of that, and we thank you very much. And we'll get to chapter 21 the next time. So thank you very much. Happy spring coming up.